If you have ever wanted to know how to properly size your drawer boxes in order to use these Blum Undermount drawer slides, then this video is for you. I have used these drawer slides on a lot of my builds because they soft close and they're completely hidden underneath the drawer box, but I have always skipped over the details on how to get these installed. I just finished building this case for a filing cabinet, and I figured what better time than now to make a video about this. So let's not waste any more time and get started. Blum have an instruction manual on the website with every single dimension that you need to know. But if you never used these slides before, it can get really confusing. So we're gonna start with the length of the slide, which is obviously driven by the depth of our case. In my case, pun intended, it is 485 millimeters, or roughly about 19 inches, which is why I'm using these 18-inch long drawer slides. Now, unlike these type of drawer slides where the depth of the drawer box can be longer than the length of these slides, the depth of our drawer box has to be the same as these slides, which is 18 inches, or roughly about 455 millimeters. Now, to figure out the width of our drawer box, we need two measurements. The first is the opening width of our case, which is 350 millimeters, or about 13 3/4 of an inch. And the second thing we need to look at is the thickness of our material, and that's 12 millimeters, or about half an inch. So if we take a look at the diagram, the inside width of our drawer box needs to be equal to the opening width of the case minus 42 millimeters, which comes out to 308 millimeters. And then we need to add on twice the thickness of our material, which gives us a final width of 332 millimeters. I know that was a lot of number, guys, but stick with me. There's just a couple more things we need to consider. The first is we need a minimum 14 millimeters underneath the drawer box to clear the hardware. And the second is that the drawer bottom needs to sit 13 millimeters above the bottom of the drawer box. So that's it. So now we got our dimensions. Let's cut some lumber. I got our drawer size cut to 18 inches to match the length of our drawer slides, and now I'm going to cut rabbets on both ends to attach the front and back pieces. Now I left these longer than they need to be because I'm going to do a dry fit to make sure that our drawer width is the 332 millimeters that we calculated earlier, and that is going to tell me exactly how long to cut these front and back pieces. And once everything's cut to size, we're just going to take a couple passes over the table saw to cut a dado for our bottom panel to sit in. Now keep in mind the bottom panel needs to sit 13 millimeters, or roughly about half an inch above the bottom edge of our drawer box. And that is all the cutting we need to do. Lastly, I'm just going to use glue and brad nails to assemble everything. Our drawers are done, but there's still a few more things we need to do to attach these slides. And the first is to cut two 35 millimeter notches in the back to clear these slides when it sits underneath the drawer box like this. And then we need to drill two holes next to those notches to clear these locator pins on the slides. And I find that the easiest way to cut these notches is with a table saw. I'll just raise the blade up to match the drawer bottom, and then we'll take a pass to cut one side of the notch, take another pass to cut the other side, and then come back to clear out the material in the middle. And it's gonna give a really nice clean result. And of course, if you have a lot of drawers, a dado set would make the work even easier. Okay, so once our notches are cut, I'm gonna use this undermount drilling guide from Rockler to drill the holes that we need for mounting these slides. And we're gonna start by setting it into the notch, press it against the side of the box to drill the 6mm holes in the back corners. And this jig also comes with 2.5mm bushings angled precisely to pre-drill the holes to attach the locking mechanisms in the front of the box. Our drawer boxes are done. Now it's time to install the slides into our case. And to help me do that, I'm going to use this Blum Undermount drawer slide jig. I'm just going to place a slide on the jig, push it till the end, and let the magnets hold it in place. And we're going to take this whole thing, set it into the case, press it against the cabinet face, we'll clamp it down, and get the slides attached using screws. Now, the bottom slides are pretty simple to position since it just rests on the bottom panel, but we're going to use spacers to help position the other slides. Ta-da! Okay, we still need to put some drawer fronts on this, but I'm gonna leave that for the full build video of this cabinet. Okay, yes, these drawer boxes do take a little bit more work to do than if we're using some other type of slides, but you cannot beat just how clean these look once everything's done. Now, with that said, I hope you enjoyed this video and that this will be helpful for anyone who wants to use these type of slides on their future builds. Anyway, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe if you want to see how this cabinet turns out, and I guess I will see you guys in the next one.